Last lesson, we have learned about vector. I'm going to do a quick recap so that you have all the knowledge in one piece. We have 3 ways of telling you expressing vector. The first way is 2 letters. That actually tells us 2 things. One is the starting point. The other one is the ending point. I don't know the direction if I haven't got a map. I know the starting point, like I can start from home, go to a shop, starting and ending. But I don't know which way I go for my shop without the graphs here. That is the notation number 1. Notation number 2, we call it column vector. Column vector tell me a little bit more is actually the direction from my home to the shop. I go outside, I may go right 6, go down 1. That is a direction that it tells me. But I don't know where's the starting point without the map. But if I tell me from the K to the L, then I know, from the K to the L, that is my direction. The last one is an algebraic form that we show. Why it's underlined is because the tradition is to distinguish a vector from a normal algebra is you were able to tell it's a vector when it's bold, when it's type. When we're writing it, underline it. However, for your GCSE paper, if you don't underline, it is okay. They won't penalize it. You won't get any less mark. So up to you. Then, but we may not have a value of A because I'm not finding what is the value of A. A is a representation of going from here to here. I need to write it on here. Going from K to L in this direction for this much. So this tells me actually 2 things. Tell me the direction because the graph tells me A only go through here. If I draw another one like that, I cannot call it A. I have to call it another letter because A is telling me the direction. Also, A is telling me the length. A can only represent this long. If I want a longer A, I have to call it another number or 2A, 3A. That is the 3 basic knowledge that we have gone through. And we have done this already. They are telling you the column vector. Remember, it's X, Y, like a T, because you are using the column vector in translation. T for translation. The arrow always, this one is your starting point. This one is always your ending point. Remember to put the arrow at the top. Without the arrow, it's not a vector because you're telling the direction from O to A. Empty hands. The second thing is we have learned X. Now, listen carefully. Vector AB, I can only start from A, end with B. Vector CD, I can only start with C, end with D. However, I can call this journey both X. I can call that both journey X. It's because they are the same length and same direction, same gradient. Then, if you want a longer from this point to here, and they are double the length, but same gradient, we can represent it as 2x. We have also talked about the going backward. If it's AB is x, if AB is x, BX will be negative x. For the algebraic form, going backward, so you have to kind of pay attention. X is this way. Then going backward, that will be negative x. How do I know where is the x? They will tell you. Start from A, end with B. We have done this worksheets already as well. Just remember, vector, you can have it as a decimal if it's half of the vector or even fraction, negative direction. Pathway is telling you how to go from one point to another point. For example, you can imagine the starting point like your home, you go to the shop. I can go straight from A to E, A to C like this. However, if this road is blocked, I can go another route. I can go from here, go there, and go there. At the end, you are going to the same destination from the same point, and that is the pathway that we are talking about. We need to show, in exam, you need to actually show how the pathway is formed. Basically, you're not skipping that steps there. You are basically writing what you think in your head for your M1. I want to go to AC. I haven't got any algebraic form here to help me to represent that. But I got algebraic form from AB. Before I do that, I'll write my AB, go there, BC, go there to get my M1. And then I can replace it now with the algebraic form. Therefore, we can call that as a resultant vector because it's a result of two vectors add together. So the algebraic form will be J at K. And then we can label that there. For the column vector, it's the same. We have practiced that just now already. If you want to go there, your result of the two add together will be exactly the same. Exactly the same. And how do we write DF? D to F, that was last time. You haven't got, if I want to go DF, you will go straight from here. I haven't got any algebra here, so I will go from here there. However, that arrow is 5p. So I will do DF is going to be D to E first at E to F. I write my notation, and then I will able to get my M1, and then I replace it. That is 3n. However, this, I want the opposite. I want to go there. That is opposite of 5p. Then I will put negative 5p. If you're rushing, you got no M1 to save you, and then you will have no A1. That is your M1, and that is your A1. Then I will skip this. We have done this. I'm going to use one more, this one, to recap. O, ZO. So Z to O. I want to write from Z to O. I haven't got the direct line. I can use Z to X first, at X to O there. That direction, I'm happy with the 5D. That direction, I'm not happy with the 2B. I need the opposite, take away 2B. Then, we are going to practice 7B. I'm going to teach you what is the midpoint of a vector. But before we find the midpoint, at the midpoint of the vector, you need to know how to write the pathway. So let me do this as a demonstration to you. They want me to express BA. B is here, A is that, in terms of the vector that they have, which is P and Q. So I'm in my exam mode. My intention is to find BC. And my intention is to find CA. And then I'm going to take my time, look at BC. That is the opposite to the direction. So it's a negative 1.5Q. And then I want this direction still, so it's at 3P. And there's no line terms to collect. And then that's it for my first part. We do the OC. Starting from here, O. Starting from here, C. Then write my intention, OA, that way, at, I'm going to this way because there's no ray, I don't have information, and then at AC. Then this time I need the opposite, so it's a negative 2.5Q, negative 0.5, so it's a positive 0.5P. And then this way, I don't like that opposite, so I have to do a negative 3P. Then collect line terms, this one, negative 2.5Q, take away 2.5P. And you don't need to put it in the bracket. This is good enough answer. When we have the pathway, then we can use that to find the midpoint. Midpoint means half of that path. Half of what you get will be the midpoint. This is the questions on the board. D to F. They tells me that this part is 7n. It tells me that the going down is 3p. So I alert myself. I really feel like I will get mistakes there. So the point M is the point on the midpoint of DF. So they use that to locate M. What do they want me to do? Ultimately, they want me to write down the vector of dm. I will need the help of df first. It's because I have no information at all from this side. But what I can do is I can find out df, and then I'm going to have it to find the midpoint. So my intention for df is this way, de at ef. This way is the same as what I want, 7n. This way is the opposite. I alert myself, negative 3p. Then my dm basically will be half of df. I can write that like that to show my intention. So if I got the chance to earn the dependent M1 mark, that will be what's saving me. My intention is to find half of the df. That is df. What you can do is you can write half bracket 7n take away 3p, and then make it easier. Normally we will expand the bracket, so 3.5 and half it take away 1.5p, and then that will be how I show dm in the algebraic form. Test with ratio. This is the questions. Shape O, Z, Y, Z. O, X, Y, Z is a parallelogram. They tell you these top two are parallel and the side is parallel. C is divided, C is here, is divided the line OY in the ratio of 2 to 1. Now, it's important, they already located for you on these questions, but not all the time. They can just give you the writing, ask you to draw where is C. Then you have to read carefully. O is the starting point. Y is my end point. That means that from the starting point is longer, it's 2 parts, end with 1 part. Then you can draw a line there. Before, when we have the midpoint, you know that it's half and half. This time, it's not half. You are going to first job, write the ratio from OC. The total part is 2 at 1, is 3. The total part is 3. Where do I get the 3 from? I add up the ratio, 2 at 1, 3. And then I read carefully, O to C is 2 parts. C to Y is 1 part. So I have given my ratio correctly. Given my fractions based on the ratio correctly. This one is harder than the half is just because some people don't read carefully. They don't know where is 1/3, where is 2/3. I have write down the starting point and the end point. It's going to help you to figure it out. Then they ask you to write down OC. So your job is to find a vector of OC. You don't have any information. You can see from O to C, basically just like that. So you know OC is related to OY. I repeat, you know OC is related to OY because they are on the same one. OY just extend further. So you may have an idea is OC is basically 2/3 of OY. Let's think about it. OC is basically 2/3 of OY. Do we able to find out OY? Look, from OZ and this to that, I feel like I can find out OY. So then I'm going to find out OY. OY from O to Z is A. I like the direction, so it's A. And then from Z to Y is B. I'm still going up, so I quite like the direction, so it's at B. To make it better, so your OC is 2/3 of A at 2/3 of B. And then I find out the answer. And that's it. You find out the ratio, you write it as a fraction, you find the whole length, you write out what you need. Expanding the bracket make it like easier because sometimes you have to collect like terms. So that is how we do it.